Hey everyone, Rarity-Share time for another RWBY Blind Commentary, and today I'm reacting to the Volume 3 World of Remnant videos. As with Volume 2, there are 4 of them, and they are titled 1, Huntsman, Cross-Continental Transmit System, and the 4 Maidens. The title that makes me the most curious there is actually the first one, 1, because, that's not very specific. That could literally be anything. Because, I kind of doubt it's about the number 1. But I guess we'll see. The other ones, they actually do specify a topic, and they're not numbered, which makes that even weirder. And Huntsman, well, we already know what those are, but more detail couldn't hurt. Cross-Continental Transmit System, that I don't think we've really touched on that much. It sounds pretty self-explanatory, but it's something that could probably be explained. And finally, the 4 Maidens. We did go into that quite a bit in that one episode, but I'll be eager to hear more. Hopefully these are pretty good. I did like the last set, the ones from Volume 2. It wasn't the most reaction-worthy stuff, but it was interesting information that was presented well, and really that's what I'm hoping for more of with these. Anyway, let's go ahead and get these started. Okay. And here we go. RWBY World of Remnant. Vital Festival Tournament. Oh, it's about the tournament. Well, that makes sense.
It all began, as most things do, with war. The kingdoms of the world had been locked in a violent struggle for years, but eventually the Great War of Remnant came to an end on the small island of Vital. It was here that humanity's leaders chose peace over bloodshed and constructed the future of modern society, establishing new laws, new academies, and new traditions.
Cool.
The Vital Festival was created to serve as a celebration of peace between the kingdoms. Every 2 years, a kingdom would be chosen to open its doors to the world, allowing citizens from every corner of Remnant to meet and indulge in one another's cultures. The pinnacle of this event was the Vital Festival Tournament. After the newly formed Huntsman academies proved to be a success, the Vital Festival Tournament was designed to test the strength of the kingdom's warriors in a safe and friendly competitive environment, a wonderful method in which to ensure that the world's huntsmen would never settle for mediocrity, but would constantly strive to become the absolute best they could be. As the skills of the huntsmen grew, so did the games, and in time, it was decided that the tournament would need a stage equal in greatness to that of its competitors.
I have been kind of wondering about the stage.
Amity Coliseum was the culmination of the 4 kingdoms' efforts, a technological marvel and a shining symbol of harmony, capable of making the journey to all the kingdoms of Remnant.
Cool.
It's true that all of this began with war, but it is peace that has served to shepherd humanity on its ascension to greatness.
For now, at least.
May we never stray from that path.
Yeah, might be too late for that. They have to put this even on the short videos. Fair enough. Huntsman.
Huntsmen and huntresses, the best and brightest warriors of Remnant, ranking higher than kingdom police and even military in terms of strength and skill. The occupation was established alongside the Huntsman academies after the Great War, with the hope of creating elite warriors whose sole purpose would be to combat the creatures of Grimm. Beacon Academy was founded in Vale, Haven founded in Mistral, Shade founded in Vacuo, an atlas founded in the now-defunct Kingdom of Mantle. These institutions accepted graduates of primary combat schools who showed enough promise and tenacity to not only battle the world's deadliest creatures, but also protect their fellow man. For this reason, trainees are grouped into teams, ensuring the continual development of communication, empathy, and teamwork. Traits that are vital to any guardian of peace. As an additional precaution to maintaining peace, the founders of the academies believe that their graduates should be kept separate from Kingdom allegiance. Once finished with their training, huntsmen and huntresses are free to choose who they work for, as well as what kind of work they will do through the use of mission boards. Allying with a particular kingdom or village is entirely up to the individual. However, Atlas Academy has come under increasing amounts of scrutiny for the indoctrination of military lifestyle upon its students,
of course,
pressuring them to enlist in the Atlas military's special.
There's the familiar silhouette. Definitely stands out.
Every academy has its own methods of teaching. The end result is the same. Huntsmen and huntresses ready to make their own paths. Some will stay together as a team, some will move on to work alone. But all are expected to serve humanity and never succumb to the darkness.
Well, got a lot of darkness now.
Throughout the years, the world of Remnant has
starting
seen
immediately with
technological advances
narration
that have changed society. The most influential of all of them being the cross-continental transmit system. Prior to the invention of the CCTS, long-range communication was extremely limited. The discovery and development of radio technology allowed for communication within the boundaries of most kingdoms. But communication with other parts of the world was restricted to the physical delivery of messages. With every alternative form of communication
no phones, I
proposed,
guess.
There seemed to be the perfect obstacle. The destructive nature of the creatures of Grimm severely limited the reliability of ground-based technologies. The concept of relay satellites orbiting around the planet was promising. Unfortunately, modern man has yet to make the technological advancements required to achieve spaceflight, as all known dust types lose their power as they begin to leave Remnant's atmosphere.
Fair enough.
Eventually, it was the people of Atlas, the world's leader in science and technology, that developed the cross-continental transmit system. It was revolutionary. Like radio, signals were sent and received wirelessly, though the content of these transmissions were not nearly as limited. Audio, video, images, and text were all capable of transmission, and eventually an entire online web of information was at mankind's fingertips.
Okay, so...
Currently, the system is supported by 4 primary relay towers, each located within a safeguarded area of the kingdoms. These towers allow for wireless communication within a kingdom through the use of devices.
Honestly, this is something that I wouldn't have even wondered about watching the show.
Less reliable the farther a user travels from the CCT tower. And although small
I guess it's good to know.
Do exist outside of kingdoms, they are constantly at risk of destruction by the creatures of Grimm.
Of course.
Shortcomings aside, for the first time in history, digital transmissions between kingdoms were possible through the use of slightly more advanced devices, typically found in homes and CCT centers. The cross-continental transmit system has and will continue to advance the progression of mankind. However, if one of the 4 towers is taken offline, the entire network fails with it.
And now that's going to happen.
During routine maintenance. But to be honest, I find the limitation somewhat poetic. No one voice is louder than the others, and no voice may be silenced without the rest. If the people of Remnant are to speak, then they shall do so together.
Yeah, the only reason they tell us that is that that's going to happen. this one's really long. I just noticed that. The Four Maidens.
Deep in the forests of Remnant, beside a great and mighty river, stood the small, fragile home of a cold, frail man.
Oh, so
a lone wizard.
Going into the whole story here.
Hidden from the dangers and distractions of the world, the wizard
this one's
seldom
actually
had visitors.
animated.
But on this day, as he peered out his window, his gaze fell upon a young maiden. Calmly she sat beneath his tree, in a state of absolute tranquility. When the wizard demanded an explanation, the maiden simply replied, "My name is Winter. I am on a journey, and I am waiting for my sisters." With that, she closed her eyes and sat in silence. The wizard told himself the girl was a fool, but the longer she sat, the more he wished to share in the serenity the young maiden enjoyed. In time, he grew tired and decided to close his eyes as well, thinking on this strange predicament. Upon opening his eyes, the wizard was befuddled to find that a second maiden had appeared beneath his tree, cheerful and spry, with a basket of fruit and flowers. When he asked for an explanation, the girl simply replied, "My name is Spring. I am on a journey, and I am waiting for my sisters." To show her gratitude for his reluctant hospitality, the girl retrieved a handful of seeds from her basket and planted them in the wizard's garden. The old hermit could hardly believe his eyes as the maiden turned what was once a mere pile of dirt and manure into a beautiful garden from which life would surely blossom. It's likely he would have gazed for hours, were it not for the unfamiliar laughter he heard from beneath his tree. A young woman with a warm smile now stood beside the two maidens. The wizard begged her to introduce herself, to which she happily responded, "My name is Summer. I am on a journey, and I am waiting for my sister." Of course, thought the wizard. But another chirp of laughter left the old man perplexed. What in the world was so funny? As it turned out, it was him. The new arrival found the wizard's insistence on staying indoors so very amusing. Why choose to view the world through a small window when the door leading out to it was right at his side? It was a compelling argument, and after only a moment of brief hesitation, the wizard left his home and stepped outside. The warmth of the sun brought with it a surge of energy and life, and soon the wizard wasn't feeling much like himself anymore. He was feeling much better.
Okay.
As the day drew to a close, the maidens and the wizard all settled down and prepared a feast. Winter set the table. Spring supplied the crops. Summer prepped the meal, and the wizard was the happiest he'd been in ages. But in all the excitement, he nearly failed to notice the delicate woman that now stood beneath his tree.
And there's the last one.
He smiled and beckoned her to join them, asking only for her name. "My name is Fall," she replied softly. "I am on a journey and am here to meet my sisters. Who are you?" "Me?" the wizard wondered. "Well, I am but an old hermit. I have lived in these woods alone for centuries, and I'm afraid my story is not very interesting, as I have no one to love and nothing to my name." The eldest sister looked up at all that surrounded them. "But sir, do you not see? You have so much."
Yeah,
it was
looks pretty nice.
With their help, it was now clear to see that the wizard had everything he could ever need. He was grateful, but a question lingered in his mind. "Why me?" he asked. "Why did the four of you choose to open my eyes?" eyes, to share with me your gifts. Why am I so special? The four sisters looked to one another, perplexed. Finally, the eldest spoke. I beg your pardon, sir, but we did not do these things for you because you were special. We do what we can for everyone, because we are able. The old wizard was at a loss. Never in his years had he come across such kindness. It was in that moment that he knew what should be done. The wizard summoned his magic, every ounce he could muster.
Finally doing something wizardly.
And bestowed it upon the sisters.
They seemed kind of magical before, but I guess...
He smiled. Take this gift, and know now that you are able to do so much more. Now, armed with the elements, the very powers of nature, and the unimaginable magic of the wizard, the four maidens, winter, spring, summer, and fall, promised to carry onward with their journey, using their gifts to aid others, just as they had aided him. One by one, the sisters left, but before they did, they made one final promise. They promised to return each and every year to visit their dear friend.
Okay, nice. Curious about the wizard, and if he'll come up again. Seems to be the source of all this power. Where did he get it? Okay. So, yeah, those were pretty interesting. First one gave me a bit more information about the tournament and why it's all important, and about that stage that it's on, which was really neat to know. Good to know that stuff. Second one, well, that was mostly information I already could have gleaned or already knew, and I don't think I really learned much from that, but it was still neat to see. Third one, now that is information, as I said, that I would have never thought to even ask. But now that I know it, I know that they're going to do something with that system, and it's probably going to get knocked out at some point. So, yeah. But, yeah, still pretty interesting stuff to know. Fourth one, that was the most elaborately presented, and in a lot of ways the most interesting, though, I mean, it was kind of stuff we already knew as well. We basically got the summary of that story in the episode with Pyrrha, with her relating it to Ozpin and them, and this was just a more fleshed out version that was actually animated, and that was cool. It was unlike the other ones which are done with silhouettes. It was actually, yeah, animation, more limited than the actual show, but still pretty stylistically interesting, and that made the story feel a bit more real, feel a bit more complete, and it does have me curious. I'm very intrigued, as I said, by the character of the wizard, and really where he came from, and all that, because, I mean, yeah, that seems a bit strange, but I'm sure we'll probably get into that eventually, though I think maybe we want to focus more on the Maidens, so probably not for a while. But, yeah. Yeah, more good stuff, more enjoyable World of Remnant videos, and they were good. Anyway, hope you liked the commentary. Let me know if you did, and see you in the next one.